looking live at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas on a very special day. The Texas A&M Aggies are playing their first game as a member of the SEC. Their opponent, the Florida Gators, have won 2 of the last 6 BCS championships. It figures to be a tough introduction to the toughest conference in the country. The Aggies wouldn't have it any other way. And their new head coach, Kevin Sumlin, led the team to the stadium on the traditional walk, firing up the fans as he came. Then 2,000 strong, the Corps of Cadets marched. This is the largest Corps of Cadets outside of the United States military academies. And at midfield, of course, Miss Reveille 8, with the yell leaders firing up the crowd behind her. A sellout crowd ready to rock as Texas A&M joins the SEC, but not just the SEC. The SEC West. You can see that Missouri also added to the conference. They'll play Georgia later tonight. There are the Aggies, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Be careful what you wish for. The Florida Gators have taken the field. Their first ever appearance. Will Muschamp, their second-year coach. And now here come the Aggies. This is special, Mr. Herbstreit. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger along with Kirk Herbstreit. How about the quarterback story? Now, Johnny Manziel for the Aggies. I know he's a redshirt freshman, but this is his first ever start, and what a time to make your first start.
You and I had a chance to spend a little bit of time with him at the walkthrough, and he's got confidence. He's not lacking that. He'll need that coming into this game. You got to believe Florida's going to come in and put a lot of pressure on him, try to stop Texas A&M and their up-tempo offense. And this style of offense that Kevin Sumlin has brought with him over from Houston really is built around a quarterback making quick decisions. Will Muschamp's going to do his best to make him indecisive and then pressure him.
Not that the Florida quarterback has that much more experience, but Jeff Driskel earned the start last week.
He did, and the coaches have told us this week it's really the body of work that Jeff Driskel put together, going back to last year's freshman year, the spring, and over the summer, just more command, and also his athletic ability, which will have to be on display today. At some point, he's going to make some plays with his legs if Florida's offense is going to win this game.
Well, there could be a little bit of a story here. Let's go down below now to Heather Cox. Heather?
Yeah, Brent, after a record 105 degrees yesterday, we are getting a little bit of a reprieve today. Just expected highs of 90 degrees, and both teams obviously used to playing in the heat, but they still are preparing for its impact. Certainly the biggest concern is preventing cramping. In fact, Florida has a 9-page heat illness and prevention document which mandates how many fluids and electrolytes the players take in. And on the benches on both sides, they've got cooling systems for their pads and their helmets and fans. Both teams also prepared to take vital signs and administer IVs if necessary. Guys, though, the heat might not be the biggest issue, but the wind, gusts expected up to 30 miles an hour today, which certainly could have an impact on these two young and unproven quarterbacks.
And there is Bostic on the other side, the kicker for Coach Muschamp. And there's a little bit of speed back here for the Aggies that I'm sure Muschamp was reminding Bostic, and again the wind, and we'll see how that affects the kicks here, Herbert.
Yeah, I was on the field before the game, and Heather's seeing it right now. It's a kind of a swirling wind, and talking to some of the coaches, they feel that with young quarterbacks, this wind could become a factor, especially on their deeper throws, and without a doubt affecting the special teams.
So Caleb Sturgis will kick it up, and then Bostic and the defense will take the field with Trey Williams, the freshman. Folks, as a sensational freshman back deep for the Aggies. He is number 20. Perhaps the most ballyhooed running back to be recruited in some time here. There he is standing back at the goal line. And just bring this one out to the 25-yard line under the new rule. So here comes Johnny Manziel. He's out of Kerrville, Texas. He was a high school legend. That's about an hour from San Antonio. Look at those numbers, sir.
You're talking about a quarterback that put up not only ridiculous numbers, he actually verbaled to Oregon at one point. He's known for his ability to run as much as his ability to throw. Coming out of spring, he actually had to work over the summer to earn the starting job, and here he is about to take his first collegiate snap after winning that job.
Kristen Michael, number 33, his running back, is a very good story also. Hicks is the tight end who starts out in the backfield. And there's the young man up under center, and a penalty. False start on the first play.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 61, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So Patrick Lewis, the center, flinched with the ball, Herbie, as we look at the impact player.
You have Manziel, Michael in the backfield, along with the true freshman Trey Williams. Swope is the go-to reliable guy, and Sean Porter, great defender on the other side.
Michael is jammed by that tough Gator front. Bostic, whom you saw talking to the coach, makes the first tackle of the game.
And you know that Florida, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, the head coach, one of the great defensive minds, they got a freshman quarterback. They want to try to negate any kind of running game at all and try to get this Manziel, this young quarterback, into some obvious passing situations.
So a penalty, then a stuff at the line of scrimmage. Manziel snaps it off, trying to get a screen going, and it'll be 3rd and long as Matt Elam, one of the better safeties in the SEC, up to make the stop on Swope.
And already this Florida defense, in just a couple snaps, has a different energy to them than what we looked at last week in their opener against Bowling Green.
Only 2 defensive linemen down right now for the Gators. Knowing that Manziel is going to put it up here on 3rd and a bunch. And he's going to take off. Cuts up the middle, close to the first down. Going to depend on the spot. Very close.
Brett, they lined up 2 and they ended up rushing just to 3. And this gives you an idea how athletic he is and what he can do. I think Florida maybe underestimated the speed of Manziel. He can get upfield in a hurry there.
So it looks to be.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul.
Oh my goodness. All right, listen up. That's too many penalties on the Gators. There were 14 last week against Bowling Green. This team has to be more disciplined than that. That ball was short of a first down, and it would have been 4th down. Inexcusable, Mr. Herbstreit.
Yeah, 10 in the first half last week after a big year last year with penalties.
Folks, are you impressed by Manziel? Snaps off another completion, but not much of a gain. Good run after the catch that time by Swope. He's the senior out of Austin and one of their better wideouts.
Right now they're trying to settle Manziel down with a lot of these quick throws to the outside. Easy, high percentage throws just to get him to settle down in his first career start. Eventually they're going to pump some of those and try to get the ball thrown downfield vertically.
Come on, off a double fake. Throw back to the near side to Michael, the running back. Well, Kevin told us yesterday, Herbie, look for some trick plays.
And here's a beautiful screen set up off to the right. The execution in the backfield, the play action caught the linebacker's eyes. In fact, they started the run with the reverse. They're out of position, and right there, Michael's just waiting for the screen.
Ben Molina checks into that backfield. He's the running back. He's a bull. Manziel fires on a crossing pattern, and it was dropped. Looked like he had a touchdown to McNeil for a moment. Matt Elam, the safety, with coverage.
Boy, I thought he had this. In fact, the quarterback, that's great coverage. Outstanding coverage by Elam to get his hand in there and knock that football away.
Herbie, that's his first incomplete pass of the game. What an opening series for a redshirt freshman here. No wonder he won the starting job. Fade, jump ball, incomplete. And that was Roberson, number 5, on the other side of the corner. I think someone thought there was illegal contact.
Evans is 6'5" and has the ability to go up and try to be able to make a play at the high point. This time, that's actually back-to-back plays by the Gators. The fact that Roberson has his head turned allows him to locate the football, and with his right arm is able to dislodge that away from Mike Evans, who is, again, at 6'5", going up in the air to try to make a play.
All right, now, 3rd and goal, and Michael checks back into the Aggie backfield. Remember, he can run. Now flips it into the end zone. Was he behind the line when he tossed it? There is a flag on the play, and it was going to be close down there.
Well, the official who threw the flag was standing right at the line of scrimmage. It's like he crossed over. Just kind of flicks this like a point guard. Yeah, he's well
illegal
across.
Pass.
Well
Illegal forward pass.
How about Brent? How about? But
Forward pass on the offense. The quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 4th and goal.
The play doesn't count, but it gives you an idea of the athletic ability from Manziel. And here's Kevin Sumlin trying to talk to him about, hey, I like the idea, but you got to have a little bit more awareness about you.
Now, Jake Matthews, the son of NFL Hall of Famer Bruce Matthews, he'll be the long snapper. The kicker is Taylor Bertolet. The holder is the punter Ryan Epperson. This would be huge for the Aggies. And they strike first with a 27-yard field goal. The Florida Gators make a living with their special teams. There's Andre DeBose. He beat Ohio State, at least helped beat them in the Gator Bowl, with a 99-yard return for a touchdown. And here is, wearing the ceremonial number 12 today, Justin Bass, being honored. So he is your 12th man. Bertolet kicks it away. DeBose driven back, and he'll take a knee, and it'll come out on the 25. And so, Herbie, here comes Jeff Driskel, and he was the high school player of the year. The Maxwell Club up north out of Philadelphia honoring him as the high school player of the year.
He played in 5 games last year. Of course, last week, 10 of 16. And the coaches came out early in the week and said, hey, we're going to move forward for now. He's our starting quarterback. It's his body of work. And they also really stressed to us and everybody else his mobility, and the fact he can keep plays alive is a big factor in why we're going to go with him. They think that dimension is important to this offense. I think it's going to be important today for them to be able to move the ball against Texas A&M.
They're going to move the ball over to the other hash. Now, a key player to watch here is Mike Gillisley, the running back. A week ago, 148 yards. He is behind Driskel. Trey Burton is your motion receiver. Play action to him. Come back now. And they hit the motion man, Trey Burton, on 1st down. And let's take a look at your impact players for the Gators, Herbie.
And we talked already about what Driskel has to do in this game. And Gillisley is a back that I think impressed all of us and what he can do. Really great acceleration, a one-cut kind of guy upfield. Frankie Hammond, somebody's going to have to step out on the perimeter to help Driskel out. And Jonathan Bostic, the leader on the Gators defense, trying to get after that young freshman quarterback, Manziel.
Here's Gillisley. Breaks the first tackle, and Driskel on a handoff, and the ball carrier was Hines. And Porter makes the stop for the Aggies. He's a key man in that defense. Sean Porter, number 10, the senior linebacker, and he is a good one.
Porter cleans it up, and another true freshman for A&M, Obioha, fighting off the block from Nixon, actually forced the play to go back to the inside to give Porter a chance to make the play. Nice job there on the outside there by the true freshman.
Gillisley back on the field. 3rd down and long, so Driskel back in the gun. Pockets clean. Fires a beauty into the middle of the field for a first down on that third down. Frankie Hammond, who made the big catch and run for a touchdown against Bowling Green, moves the chains to the 46-yard line.
And zone pressure, meaning a lot of different movement from the offensive line, having to deal with the pressure from Texas A&M. They picked it up, and Hammond that time does a good job of securing the ball, but great patience by the quarterback, Jeff Driskel, to sit in there. That's a bad sign for the Aggie defense. Porter forced to the sideline with an injury. That team is not deep. Now with a first down at the Aggies 35. Come back with that power game, and Gillislee. It's a nice balance. We were talking so much about A&M's opening drive with their young quarterback, but here's a nice power play. Play develops, opens up very nicely. Will Muschamp's bragged about his offensive line and how they've been able to really become more of a cohesive unit. But I think Brent Peace here on this opening drive showing a lot more to Texas A&M than the more of a vanilla conservative approach a week ago when they were fairly predictable against Bowling Green. Porter returns. The pistol is the look. And he keeps it. Driskel, a good runner to the 20-yard line. Off of a read option play. He was working with Gillislee, and he kept it. Yeah, it's nice to see just this mix here. The defensive end commits down and allows Driskel to be able to recognize that, and it's another just another wrinkle within this offense. You got a lot of pro set stuff where they're going to run the ball, the power game, play action, and the quarterback, because of his athletic ability, can pull it out and give the defense fits with his ability to run. Second down for the Gators from the Aggie 20. They show power with Gillislee again. Behind that offensive line, even though there has been one penalty against Nixon, when you put him with Wilson, Harrison, Calapio, and Green, this is a talented offensive line for the Gators. Once they get together and don't have false starts, these fellas are good. Yeah, and I think there they are. Look at the size. A lot of experience there as well. And tell you, I like the looks of Gillislee too. I mean, we're used to seeing Rainey and Dempson and quickness. Gillislee is a little bit more of a power style back. He gets a breather. Mac Brown. And they went to the fullback. And did the Gators fumble? Did they cough it up? They just forced a fourth down, I believe. Let's see now. I mean, they read that play perfectly. Remember last week they were 1 of 9 in third or 2 or less. Same problem here. Just man against man, they get beat to the gaps. A&M fighting, shooting those gaps. They get lower, they get penetration, and they held him short of that first down. That was Hunter Joyer, and they were trying to strip him at the end. Now a fake on the field goal, inside shuttle to Burton, and he picks up the first down, but there's a penalty flag, so hang on.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense number 72. Half the distance to go. Automatic first down.
So Stansberry is guilty of the face mask right there. Reaching to the outside to pull down Trey Burton. And that gives them a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. And you can expect a little bit of a steady diet at Gillislee down here. How about the call by Will Muschamp there to go for that fake field goal on 4th down on the road. First drive of the game. Gillislee to the 4-yard line. Wouldn't bet against him coming right back. Yeah, special teams, Herbie, when you think about how they struggled last year and even last week before beating Bowling Green, special teams have been key for Florida. Yeah, and looking at these situations, because of these short yardage situations last week and here in this game early, they're going to have to maybe be a little bit more creative than just lining up and running Gillislee. I think you're right, because they put him back. And they show shotgun and then hand it off. Touchdown. Then they came right back with Gillislee. So they snapped it to Burton on the Wildcat, and he hands to Gillislee. Just a different version of the same old song. Yeah. Make them think that the Wildcat man's going to keep a good play.
And Burton played a lot of quarterback a year ago, and this is a nice call to be able to kind of get him. Everybody on the defense saw 8 line up at quarterback. It alerts them that he may run the football, but it's, again, a nice little wrinkle there, and that time it lined up perfectly.
Tacks on the extra point. Both teams score on their opening drives here in College Station, but for the Gators, it was a touchdown and not a field goal. Another freshman back deep. Trey Williams. He so wants to come out, and here he comes. Well, if he had taken a knee, he'd have picked up 6 more yards. 3rd down. Manziel on a quarterback draw, slips a tackle, and he's got a 1st down. Came right back. Tough little Texas.
He sure is, Brent. 3rd down and long, and I think Florida is learning on the fly about number 2. I don't think they're used to seeing this kind of offensive structure, have a quarterback back there that can do those kind of things. Think about it over the last 5, 7, 8, 10 years. Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator here at Texas A&M. We talked to him. He was one of Mike Leach's first guys. They've never had a quarterback as a threat running the football, and this defense, I don't think, is prepared for that.
They snap it off. Running back sliding out. Side Michael with his 2nd reception of the game. Not much doing.
You think about these offenses, and it's typically timing and rhythm between the quarterback and 4 or 5 receivers. When you have that extra dimension of a mobile quarterback, it makes it that much tougher on the numbers that you commit to the pass or the run.
Manziel stands in, snaps it off, and it is complete to Mike Evans. Mike Evans was a fine high school basketball player. He's out of Galveston, Texas, redshirt freshman. He's going to get a lot of work this year in this wide open, usually 4 wide set, as we see now from Coach Sumlin and the Aggies. Third down. Snaps it off complete. Another 1st down to the Gator 45-yard line, and that was Thomas Johnson. Folks, Thomas Johnson's a story. Of all the high school wide receivers in Texas last year, he was probably the best, and now he's an Aggie. On 1st down, Michael battles for a couple of yards on that play. Herbie, a couple of things really jump out at me right now. That's, first of all, we knew that Luke Jokel and Jake Matthews may be the best tackle tandem in the country, but Lewis, Abuhi, and Harrison in the middle of this offensive line, they're keeping this front pretty clean right now. They're doing a good job for the Aggies.
Yep.
I mean, look at the time he's got. Over the top, one-handed grab. Beautiful catch down here on the sideline by Thomas Johnson.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect timing. He went up there with one hand, and not only did he make the catch, but he took the hit and held on to the football.
Herbie, he was out of Skyline High School.
One of the great powerhouse programs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In Texas.
You know, when you think about it, this is the Texas All-Stars against the Florida.
Basically is.
There's Molina running free. He's got another 1st down. They're starting to muscle the Gators.
And you know, it's funny, you and I are seeing the same thing. The game within the game is in the trenches. All the talk about the SEC defensive line, I think this A&M offensive line took that as a challenge. You see Matthews off there to the right, Abuhi also being able to pick up a block, sustain a block to open things up that time for Ben Molina.
Michael back in, and he bursts for 8 yards.
So this offense will attack you out wide, but they keep the linebackers honest with runs like that in the quarterback run game. And then they're going to go back outside with a quick throw to the outside. As a defender, you're running to the outside, and then you're hesitant because you have to be aware of the running game. And when they continue to attack inside and outside, it's no wonder they're moving the ball right down the field.
Into the 1st quarter.
Woo!
And it was a good one.
It was. Hand the baton over.
I've been saying welcome to the SEC. Gators, welcome to Aggie land.
That's right. That's right.
Are here. The Gators lead the Aggies. We start the 2nd quarter, 2nd down. And they pushed that pile right toward a first down, and that, I believe, was Manziel who kept it. Wasn't it, Herbie, that time before he easily got him down?
Yeah, again, kind of that quarterback design run up the middle, using him almost as just like you would use a running back. I think Florida's getting a little bit tired of some of this. The success of the Gators, they're starting to push some people around there after the whistle.
We should point out that Manziel was a terrific baseball player, a middle infielder, had a choice, decided to stick with football. Tivy High School, where they ran the spread. And he appears to be as good as advertised.
And I think that's why we're watching him here in his first start of his career. In the first quarter anyway, he's in command of this offense, and I think it is because of the familiarity with running a similar system in high school.
You got 3rd and short right now. A low option, flips it to the trailing back and gets the first down. Michael was the running back that time. A dangerous flip. You've been an option quarterback.
He's a little reckless with the football. That shows his youth. Now, you got to remember, if this is forward, it's almost like a shovel pass, and it could be an incompletion. The thing that I like about him is it's like he's young enough he doesn't know any better. He's just out there throwing havoc to the wind, taking chances.
1st and 10. They can get another first down at about the 1-foot line. Quarterback draw. Field opens. 5. Touchdown, Aggies. Their first SEC touchdown, and Johnny Manziel carries it over himself. I mean, he freezes a defense with that action of his.
Exactly. And you're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, a veteran SEC defensive back in Josh Evans. I mean, he gets him right where he wants. He shakes him, gets to the outside, and look at the block up to the top right. Josh Evans, you have Evans trying to make the play, but Mike Evans, 13, makes a nice block to sustain that, to give him that running lane, an easy touchdown for the Aggies.
So Bertolette, who put the Aggies on the board with a field goal, now adds the extra point, and the Aggies go 13 plays, 81 yards for the touchdown in 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Kicks it away. That's another one coming out on the 25, folks.
He's confident at this point, so I think Brent Peace, the offensive coordinator, is trying to get him back and get the ball out of his hands quickly.
And they're back with the run game. Remember, we reported that Matt Jones, the freshman, had checked in, so that was his first carry. Gillisley shaken up, as Heather reported, receiving some attention over there on the sideline. We're going to keep an eye on the running back situation.
Major news if he's not able to continue to perform. He's a difference maker in this offense in that backfield.
Driskel sacked again at the 35-yard line, bringing the heat, and that is Jenkins. Jenkins was shaken up, had an x-ray. Obviously, this x-ray was negative.
Brent, here's the slant by the defensive line. They eventually bring the linebacker. And look at the quarterback's eyes. He doesn't even look over and feel Jenkins eventually coming on the blitz. He was lined up over Burton. As soon as the ball snapped, the entire defensive line slanted to the right. The line shifted down with them, and it made it nobody in the backfield left to pick up Jenkins, and the quarterback didn't recognize it.
Mark Snyder, the defensive coordinator of the Aggies, doing a terrific job with this group. That was the 3rd sack this series. It's more again. They are devouring the Gators.
Nothing fancy here, Brent. This is just more. 6'4", 250 pounds, right in here, just getting a big push. Watch how big and athletic and strong he is. We thought he's just quick. Looks like he's put some size and power into his arsenal as he just pushed back the big Gator offensive line and got in the backfield.
Dustin Harris gonna let this one bounce, and it'll roll dead down about the 22-yard line. Well, when you come back, another look at the sensational Johnny Manziel. Herbie, this is a tough break for the Gators. They have lost Jelani Jenkins for the rest of the game. So they're without their starting linebacker and the freshman Antonio Morrison. will hold forth. And now the sensational Williams. Look out. Only one man could have stopped him. There is one of the most highly recruited running backs in the history of the state of Texas, Trey Williams, the freshman from Spring, and he almost sprung that one.
He sure did. 5'8", 180 pounds. And as if Florida wanted to see more speed from this A&M offense, they're about to see it.
They come back on an inside run behind the middle of that offensive line. Not much doing that time.
He's undersized, but what a compliment, not just to Manziel, but also Christian Michael in the backfield. But just a nice, again, a nice little change of pace here. There's Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M. When you throw Michael and Williams back and forth into this game, it gives the defense something completely different to think about.
Now Hicks is back there in the backfield. Play action fake. Look at him escape the rush. And he'll take it to the sideline out of bounds. Bostic chasing him down for the Gators, but he is quick.
Well, he keeps the play alive. I thought he was in trouble. You know, he's sitting in the pocket, and the defensive end's closing in on him, but somehow he gets to the outside. And here's the balanced attack that A&M's going to have. 17 runs, 13 passes, and that's impressive here early in this game.
Up tempo, set the screen pass, something going on the near side. Look out, Williams again, crosses midfield, and he is finally wrestled down. Did you see Abuhi, the offensive lineman? Watch number 70 get out with him, Herbie.
He gets out there, and look at this line. That's the biggest difference, I think, in the A&M line is the conditioning of this offensive line. They're downfield blocking. Ryan Swope, receivers downfield blocking.
The handoff is to Molina, who's brought down. He also said to him when he coached the JV team with Drew Bledsoe his first 2 games on the JV team, and he said, oh, by the way, if Bledsoe gets hurt, it'll be your last job coaching college football.
Oh, that's what a way to break in as a JV coach, have Drew Bledsoe throwing it around for you.
2nd down and 6 for Manziel. Oh, what another fake. Throwing inside the 15-yard line. And the man, coming around, threw off the play action.
Brent McNeil comes around. You think he's going to run for a reverse because he's got yardage, but he ends up throwing it up to Mike Evans.
And quickly to the line,
yeah, the Florida defense, their heads are spinning right now.
And Molina pounds the middle. Breaks a tackle to the 5-yard line.
How about that run by Molina? I mean, he ran over the safety that time, Josh
Another
Evans.
Gator down.
Well, he just got run over by the running back. Molina went over top of him.
Hands off to the 1. That's a 1st and goal. Move the chains.
That zone read again. The defensive end just froze. McCray took the quarterback. And when you take the quarterback, that zone play off to the left, well blocked to the left side of that offensive line by A&M. Nice surge that time.
Wildcat formation. Michael takes a snap and slips into the end zone, waiting for the signal. Touchdown.
Score on the field, you score in the stands. Is that the slogan around here?
Ooh-wee.
3 impressive drives, and if you're just tuning in, this is a redshirt freshman quarterback making his first career start for this Texas A&M offense, and right now could not have done any better to start his career.
There's a kicker from Reading, Pennsylvania. Taylor Bertolette. He put the Aggies on the board with a field goal. Now he tacks on his 2nd extra point of the game. And the Aggies all over the Gators. Now, folks, let's go back to the time when Will Muschamp was the defensive coordinator at Texas. He had this comment. Folks around here have never forgotten it. We're going to get a little more on that right after this kickoff. Now, DeBose has been unable to light a fire simply because the kickoffs have sailed into the end zone, and Muschamp can't get the special team return game going. So let's see what happens here. Bertollet. On the ground. He said, let's see what you got. Here comes DeBose out from the 7. No big play. Yes, he almost squeezed out to the 25. Heather, I have found more popular people than Muschamp at College Station this week.
Indeed, and you know, they found some humor. College Station Mayor Nancy Berry found humor in his comments. She actually posted a video on YouTube. Different shots of Muschamp photoshopped. The consensus funniest, his head screaming on top of that A&M yeller's body. It's good to see that politicians can have a little humor and a little fun with things nowadays.
Exactly, Heather. Thank you.
Moral of the story, be careful what you say at the old booster dinners.
Oh, yeah.
Never know when they'll come back to haunt you.
Herbie, they get Gillisley back. Play action, Driskel. In trouble. Brought down again by Moore. That's his 4 sacks of the game now for the Aggies, and Moore has been a ringleader.
Another great job with coverage, but you're dealing again with an inexperienced quarterback, and when those different color uniforms are flashing in front of his face, he's not comfortable. Brent Peace told us this week they want to do a good job of giving him a half-field read, where you're looking off to your left or to your right. Now, Brent Peace had Kellen Moore last year at Boise State, who could survey the whole field. Right now, Jeff Driskel's not able to do that, and that was an example of how fast the game moves when he looks into the middle of the defense.
2.5 of those 4 sacks by Moore. They can't handle it. They snap it off, and Reed runs free. Beautiful run after the catch by the tight end.
Well, this kid's just, again, he's a difference maker. In this offense, Gillisley in the backfield and Reed matched up against safeties or linebackers, a difference maker. That's a poor effort there to try to make a tackle by Everett. Just dove at his ankles. You cannot do that against a talented player like the big guy, Jordan Reed. Goes up and over, and then how about the acceleration? I mean, he's 245 pounds moving around like that.
Yeah, 240 for 30 yards, Herbie. Gives him a first down and 10, just shy of the Aggies' 30. Florida showing a little spark on this drive, but Gillisley is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And Moore is in the middle of things again with everybody. And time now for Aflac. All right, Mr. Herbstreit, you're on a hot streak. Here we go now. Which SEC schools' last 3 starting quarterbacks are all playing in the National Football League?
Okay.
The school's last 3. Think about that one and we'll get back to you.
Wow, I need a little time with this one.
He's running through the SEC, folks, and now it's 14 and now a dozen. Second down and 10. Driskel drops off the screen against that rush. Gillisley trying to slow Moore and that side of this defensive line down, Herbie, if they can.
Well, I think that's the challenge right now, is Moore is playing with a great deal of confidence. This entire A&M defense right now, you touched on Mark Snyder, who came over from South Florida, spent some time as a head coach at Marshall and at Ohio State as a defensive coordinator. He's aggressive by nature. That's his tendency, and he told us this week, if I get this young quarterback into 3rd down, I'm going to try to come after him, do whatever I can to try to disrupt his timing.
Well, here he is. He's got him in 3rd and 7 right now. Trying to get in there. They pick Moore up. Rolls to the right and pushed out of bounds. The defensive line got the heat on again. And coming over to the side was Neely and pushed him out.
And Brent, even when Moore doesn't make a sack, watch him here just on a little stunt move to the inside. His movement to the inside forces the quarterback just to see him, and he's so aware of him that it's forcing him to move out. When you get a quarterback to feel you like that, you're doing your job even though you're not coming up with a sack and forcing him into a loss.
Sturgis has a big leg. 51 yards against Bowling Green. He has kicked a 56-yarder against Georgia back in 2009. So here he goes. This one on its way again, and this might even be a better one. A 51-yarder. His second 51-yard. That is huge, Herbie, I tell you.
We just talked about Florida trying to fight back, and the way this game felt like it might be getting out of hand. That was big to get those 3 points.
Yeah. Let's go down now to Heather Cox with Coach Muschamp.
Coach, you've been very active, very vocal with your defense in the first half. What's your message been to them?
The quarterback legs are killing us. 3 third-down conversions. The kid's done a good job of extending plays. We just need to keep playing. We're in good shape.
This week you told us you wanted to open up the playbook a little bit more. What do you need to see from your quarterback in the second half?
Well, again, we've got to do a better job protecting in some situations. We've had some things open down the field we're going to come back to in the second half.
Well, thanks for your time. Brent?
Well, let's go to Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz for the Lexus halftime report. Take it away, Reese. Texas A&M leads the Florida Gators by 7 at the intermission, 17-10. Now the story of the Aggies a year ago. Those blown second half leads. There are the margins at halftime. And in each instance, they were outscored badly in the second half and lost all 4 of those games. That's why they have a brand new coaching regime in here, Kirk Herbstreit. And what about that right now?
Well, and that coaching staff, you know, even though they didn't have anything to do with that, there's been a big focus with their offseason conditioning program, camp, about tempo. Every one of these players we talked about they're in the best shape of their lives and how they want to be able to win the second half. So you know Kevin Sumlin and those assistants, when they came out on this field, said, fellas, we've been talking about it all offseason. Now let's go out and finish our first game of the year.
So now we shall see as we settle in here to start the second half. Remember what Will Muschamp told Heather. They were letting the quarterback run around too much, so someone's quarterback could be under fire. The Gators are going to handle the ball first to start the second half, down by 7. Andre DeBose is back in the end zone. They let him come out the last time they kicked off to him. DeBose can be a game changer. But no way. Come out in the 25. We go down to Heather.
Brent, the Aggies may be up by 7, but Kevin Sumlin is not content. He said Johnny Manziel had energy. He created plays, but he was also very erratic. He then said that Florida threw him around defensively. They made some adjustments and then started throwing the Gators around. I also talked to him about how this team struggled in the second half with the previous coaching staff, and he said we certainly addressed it at halftime. We came out earlier than normal. We warmed up, hoping that we can pick up where we left off and sustain momentum here in the second half.
All right, Heather, thank you. Gillisley will open the second half. Shaken up early in this game, but he appears to be okay. The pistol look. Play fake. In a foot race. Driskel pulls away, comes down near side, incomplete. Clay Burton was the target.
I'd like to see the call here from Brent Peace. 1st and 10, play action pass. Driskel is comfortable out on the move. First half, and watching him make his first career start, one thing that was very obvious is that when he is able to make his first read and see his open man, he throws the ball with a lot of accuracy. When that first man is covered and he's got to come off of that, he tends to panic a bit and get anxious.
That was Driskel's first incompletion of this game. He completed all 6 of his attempts in the first half. Gillisley swings to the right on a fine run. Steps out of bounds at midfield. Mike Gillisley.
A great vision by Gillisley. Bouncing this to the right, but watch the blocks he picks up here off to the left there by DeBose. He picks up that block off of Harris, the true freshman. But off there, out of bounds there. Watch him start to let up a little bit. And I know they wrapped him up a little bit tighter, but towards the end of the play, he gets to the sideline. He starts to come up a little bit gimpy there.
And he goes off to the sideline right now, Herbie. And Gillisley with a 24-yard burst. Mac Brown checks into the Gator backfield. They flash with the end around. Patton with another first down. So they bring Solomon Patton, the junior from Mobile, Alabama, around.
And I love the way they're attacking here to start this second half with Brent Peace. Again, don't forget, he comes over from Boise State. You think about Boise State, you think of the creativity, the imagination. That's more like a Boise State style of offense with a little bit of play action. A flanker coming into motion, you hand it off to him on a reverse. Next thing you know, you start to get a little bit of momentum going here for this Gator offense.
Brown stays in the backfield. He gets the carry. Left side. Stop is made by Stewart.
Came into this game anticipating that there was a decisive advantage with Florida's offensive line and Gillislee in this running game against a smaller, still kind of a defensive line that's still learning. Let's face it, for A&M, their linebackers and probably their defensive backs are their strength. The concern and question mark is the defensive line. They knew they'd have to stop the running game, which they did in the first half. Looks like Florida's trying to mix in a little bit of that stuff out on the edge and then still bang them in the middle.
Second down and 5. Driskel slow steps his way to a first down just shy of the 20-yard line.
The big fella showing that he can step up and make a play too as far as with his feet. You can see that the defense has everybody taken, and this is what they've been trying to encourage him to do. They probably told him at halftime, Jeff, if things are covered downfield, you're 6'4", 230 pounds, you can run, take off, and pick up some yards. That time he did that.
Driskel fires right. Another first down inside the 10-yard line, and that was Dunbar. Sophomore from Miami. Last week, 3 catches.
This time Hammett comes around again, or I'm sorry, Patton comes around. Just by him coming in motion, last time they gave it to him, it occupied the defense's eyes, and that he really sold it. Held in there as long as he could, and then showed his arm strength there with a nice throw.
Now Gillislee comes back in with the end zone in sight. Gators trying to open the second half with a tying touchdown drive. First down and goal. Keep it. Here comes Driskel to the 6-yard line. Jenkins making the stop on that side.
Think about this game and the way it has gone. The Gators' opening drive to start the game, they went right 13 plays. They went down and put points on the board. And now here they come out again to start the second half. Similar kind of feel to the way they executed in the opening drive. We'll see now with Burton moving to quarterback if they're able to execute and get the actual touchdown again.
Here goes the Wildcat. Driskel out to the right side. Burton in a foot race. Can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Everett finally making the stop, number 29 for the Aggies.
Great job by the corner, Everett, 29. He'll flash from the left. Also, you see the big defensive end, Stansbury, fighting, but he kept him inside back there. He forced him back to the inside, and eventually, Brent, he ended up making the tackle, but he didn't allow Burton to bounce to the outside. If he would have gotten around him, it's a touchdown. Good job of forcing him back in.
Third down and goal. Gillislee motions out. Driskel. Incomplete, and they do it again. They hold down in the red zone.
This time, we just talked about Everett. This time, they actually brought him on a blitz. Gets there just a little bit late. That ball is thrown, and it just went through the hands of Hammond. I mean, he brought the heater there, and Frankie Hammond could not hold on to it for a touchdown. He beat his man to the inside on the slant, but just couldn't secure the football.
25-yard field goal attempt for Sturgis. He's already hit a 51-yarder. Adds that one. The Gators threatening to score a touchdown, settle for a field goal on their first drive of the second half. So we are back as the Gators settle for a field goal. And we settle in with a 4-point margin here. Aggies to get the ball for the first time. Sturgis with the ball on the tee. Talking to the quarterback over on that far side. A little bit shorter. Williams, the freshman from the 5, 20. Out to the 27-yard line. From the pocket again, snaps it off, and it's complete to Thomas Johnson. That's the freshman from Dallas. Swope checks in, and Johnson comes to the sideline. Remember, Sumlin's offense basically 4 wide all the time. Manziel and Evans, but that's short of the first down. And I got to tell you, Herbie, watching the youngster back in the pocket, he's got a little zip coming out of there now.
I know we're into the third quarter. I want to kind of go off of what Will Muschamp said to Heather Cox walking out at halftime about how the quarterback was hurting him with his creativity.
So we'll come back with the money quarter. Can the Aggies hang on this year? We'll find out. Herbie, you wanted to make a point here about Will Muschamp.
Yeah, he told Heather walking off that the quarterback scrambling is hurting us. Their adjustment is not just to contain him. They're putting an extra guy down in the box on most snaps to stop the running game and force him to have to throw the ball from the pocket.
Well, here's 3rd and 3. Some third downs are bigger than others, and he's going to get thrown down, ripped out of the 15, and that was McCray. Big play by McCray on 3rd and 3 to start the 4th quarter.
And McCray moved from outside linebacker to defensive end this year. You can see the athletic ability. You want to talk about SEC speed? That is SEC speed. When they come after you from behind, chase down the quarterback and throw him down. McCray's been close. That time he comes up with a big one on 3rd down.
They have not given DeBose a chance here. They hang it high. And he makes the fair catch at the 38-yard line. The Gators with a chance early in the 4th quarter. We'll find out what happened. Mike Gillisley checks in for the Gators. Gets the first carry. And makes the most of it, slashing behind the right side. And remember, Coney settling in over there now. Helped out, opened that hole.
That Gillisley's showing a lot of courage today, fighting through some injuries. Left guard that time, big 66 James Wilson leading the way around. When you're picking up 5 and 6 yards a clip to be able to start a series, it's a good way to be able to sustain drives. Offensive line, remember, we're in the 4th quarter now. This is where that conditioning starts to play a factor.
2nd and 5. Fake the inside handoff. Goes down the right side. Complete and out of bounds. A beautiful throw that time to Hines. That was a perfect pitch by Jeff Driskel.
And Brent, not only that, the pressure's from the outside. Watch how he steps up into the pocket. Great job of stepping into the pocket, buying a little bit of time, and then the touch there to Hines right over the shoulder to be able to pick up huge yards.
A Texan who got away. Hines is from Corsicana, Texas.
Matched up that time with Stephen Campbell, who's a great player, but one-on-one against Hines. That's a matchup that favors the Gators.
Now the Gators are in the red zone.
It's like a ref
settled in here. Muschamp must have lit a fire, Herbie, at the halftime intermission.
Have an official injured across the way there on the other side of the field. I think that's where Will Muschamp is walking over.
We'll see a few of those throws on our Monday night NFL doubleheader on ESPN.
Yeah.
Gillisley trots over to the sideline on this first down. So Pease whistles up something special here. And it looks like he's going back with Trey Burton. Puts Driskel on the outside. As soon as you saw Gillisley trot out, you knew something was up. They flashed the end around this time. Coming down the sideline was Patton again. He got great speed. You know, the Gators for the last decade, they're one of the fastest teams in college football.
That's good speed out to the edge for Florida. The A&M, once they saw Burton, you know that something is coming eventually, whether he's going to hold on to it off of his own read or he's going to give it to Patton. But Patton gives them that jet sweep kind of feel where they challenge you to the edge. Another big gain on 1st and 10.
Gillisley is back. He's the hammer on a 2nd and 3. They toss to him. Got a hole. Now he has to jump outside because of Porter, and he still makes the first down, tiptoes down toward the end zone. Touchdown is the call on the field. It was just a question of whether or not he could stay in bounds, but what a beautiful run for his second touchdown today and 4th of the season.
Well, you could see him fighting through that. He's been dealing with this the entire game. Really showing a lot of heart. Brent, also watch the block here. Gillisley gets the touchdown, but Hunter Joyer locks up right there and just keeps pushing. Anybody who gets in his way, between that and the block actually by Frankie Hammond, he got it to the edge.
Shut it down and take a look.
Yep.
But you know what? I think he stayed in bounds.
Got in. But
I think he stayed in bounds.
Great block by the fullback and the receiver, Frankie Hammond, to get him to the edge.
Yeah, great job by replay. They saw that. Good angle there. Sturgis tacks on the extra point. They didn't stop the game.
Perfect.
That's the way replay needs to
execution by the boys.
Good job by the booth up there. Mike Slive should give you boys a raise upstairs. Look at it time. Pretty good balance in the park here. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Outstanding, young man.
Kidding me?
They have a future as a safety. Talent like that. Trey Williams is back deep. Remember, he's the freshman from Spring, Texas. Caleb Sturgis, the 5th-year senior from St. Augustine, with the ball on the tee for the Gators. Florida leads it by 3. 13:05 remaining.
Oh, he's got a shot.
He's got a shot here. Going to take it from the left side. Going to look for some wedge blocking. Dances back, and he's short of the 20. The Gators with the lead. They'll start with a quarterback draw. Manziel steps it outside. Nothing doing. Gators would not yield. Roberson and Herbie, you talked about possessions here.
Well, at the beginning of the game, they had drives of 15 plays, 13 plays, 10 plays, 9 plays. In the second half, look at that. 3 3-and-outs. Manziel and his offense cannot get into a rhythm. They can't get their tempo going, and Florida's done a great job of containing him and getting penetration.
Need a completion. Didn't get it. Through Swope's hands. Heather.
Brent, Cliff Kingsbury just gathered his offense before they take the field and said, find a way to make a play. And now I'll paraphrase. He said, I don't give a hoot about last year. This is our time. I don't care if they score 2 more times. We'll score 3 more times. We need some tempo. Make something happen. He finished by going over to his quarterback and said simply, play smart.
Never heard a football coach use the word hoot. 3rd down and 10 now for the Aggies. Manziel takes off. Could not get to the first down. Now let's see what someone's going to do here. He's in a 3-point game with a lot of time left. Yep, he plays it the way that
not right here.
Most football coaches would.
How about this ball fake? He's about 5-6 yards downfield. Watch this ball fake to the right. I mean, I don't know. Hey, little ball that I might have. You never know. It's a little rugby toss. But it's not enough to pick up that first down.
Another punt. DeBoe's coming back, signals for a catch. Fumble on the catch. And I believe DeBoe's dropped on it. I was a little bit surprised he signaled for the fair catch to begin with. Here comes Jeff Driskel. Crowd alive. Matt Jones stays in. Driskel into the sunshine with a first down and completion. That's Jordan Reed. And that's a story because his tight end coach is Derek Lewis over on the sideline. And you fans of the Texas Longhorns remember Derek Lewis. He caught one of the biggest catches in Longhorn history. 61 yards in that 96 title game against Nebraska when John McAvitt whistled up a pass on 4th and inches. And there he is now coaching the Gators tight ends, and he's got a dandy in Jordan Reed. 2nd down and 5. Draw play. Jones not going to get the first down. They swarm. Jenkins is right there. And now, Herbie, here comes another one of those downs.
Yeah, I had no idea, Lewis. I put that name together. I think about you calling that. That was one of the more memorable games in the last 15, 20 years of college football.
Great football game.
It's a big one here.
3rd down and 1. Jones not going to get there. Gators are forced to punt. Jenkins again, he's had a big-time game, Herbie.
What was a concern coming in, the defensive line from A&M, they have stepped up. Obioha, the freshman, actually beats the right tackle that time to his spot. No knee. Beat him to the inside right there, and then the linebacker Jenkins finished the play.
Christie versus Harris again, Herbie, coming up.
And it's another 3rd down and short where Florida struggles to try to pick up a first down, just like last week.
Aggies want the football. Harris. Down to the 26-yard line. Manziel. This is what the Gators will let this young man do all rest of the game long, is this.
And this is a screen set up to our right, to the offense's left, and it's just sniffed out. Florida does a good job. They've been prepping all week to be able to see that. When you see that look, get ready for the screen. They sniffed it out. Quarterback, all he could do is try to run.
And the freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois, Morrison, making the stop with a fine tackle. Complete. Evans, and he battles his way for a first down. Started pushing and shoving. In the end, he's got to be a little bit careful after he picks up the first down.
Boy, he's got great length, great size.
And now Hunter is down for the Gators. They've already lost Jelani Jenkins.
And Mike Evans, Brent, 6'5", 220 pounds. The effort there to fight for the first down. Yeah, you got to be careful of that. But what I like is before he goes down, just not giving up on the play. 3rd year playing organized football.
Manziel is 23 of 29, hands it off that time.
In fact, we're under 5 minutes. This game could go either way.
Manziel in trouble. Steps out to the left. Can he throw back? Now he fires it. And it was caught, but incomplete, out of bounds. The coach is trying to help out with the officiating over there. Watkins making the play on that far side for the Gators.
Well, they had man coverage across the board, and it's a kind of a characteristic of a Will Muschamp defense. They brought the pressure, and even though Manziel is athletic, he could not be able to turn the corner to get his shoulders turned to make an accurate throw. And by the time he actually got to the edge, he had no chance to make the throw to his receiver.
3rd and 13. Manziel has to avoid the big mistake here. Punt and hope he can get it back. Shakes free. Now he's out of bounds. Bostic was able to finally bring him down. And this will force an Aggie punt.
And these linebackers that you've been talking about, Antonio Morrison and Jonathan Bostic, are basically spying and watching him, making sure he doesn't get out of there. He does a good job fighting to keep the play alive. He gets away from McCray, but there's Bostic. We've seen Bostic cleaning up plays all day, but it was the coverage downfield. Everybody was taken away in man coverage.
Line drive, low punt. DeBose waits for it. Gonna let it roll dead. So now the Gators are backed up inside their 10-yard line as a result of that. And here comes Jeff Driskel. He will attempt to put this away with the offense now. They've only got 1 timeout remaining, but they've got 3:13. The Aggies will be under pressure on defense here, Herbie.
3 timeouts for A&M. 3:13 to go. If Florida's able to pick up a first down, then you start to think about they're going to be working the clock as much as they can. And that's when A&M has to start thinking about timeouts. But right now, they're thinking about trying to get a 3 and out and getting the ball back to Manziel.
Mac Brown checks in as the running back. He gets the first carry. Sprints over to the left and nothing doing. A fine tackle by Moore.
Called the face mask on Moore.
Mercy.
Yep. Wondered if he got all the way up to the face mask, and Moore reaching up to bring the big back down.
Face mask. 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Keep his cool, keep playing hard. I mean, his right hand got up into the face of Mac Brown and just pulled him down.
That's the 9th penalty of this game against the Aggies.
had them pinned back deep in their own territory. It would have been about a 2nd and 8 situation. Now it's 1st and 10, ball all the way out to the 30.
3 minutes to kill. Lead by 3. Brown keeps the clock moving that time. Stewart makes the stop. The experts said this was going to be a close game, and it is indeed.
If you're Mark Snyder, the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M, you're loading up against the run. Obviously, you're going to leave your coverage in man-to-man. So the corner's going to have to hold up. The safeties that have the tight ends are going to have to hold up, because Brent Peace, once in a while, he'll take some chances. But you got to play the run if you're Mark Snyder and try to get them into that 3rd down.
Jeff Driskel, the sophomore. Coming down now toward 2 minutes. And they come back with that end around that's been successful. And Patton swings free, and he's got a big 1st down for the Gators.
What a block. We've been seeing Frankie Hammond do this all night. This time a crack block coming from the right to the left. Picks up the linebacker and buries him. Sean Porter was about to turn to the outside and think that he had a chance to take away Patton, but the block right there, and he stayed high. He didn't go low where it could have been a chop block. He stayed high, and at 185 pounds, taking on a big linebacker at 230, way to sacrifice yourself by Frankie Hammond.
Folks, this was a gut check for the Gators at halftime, and they regrouped. Now they've got 1:40 to kill. A&M going to have to start using timeouts. Brown is stopped. Clock is stopped.
Pretty much comes down to another 1st down for Florida. That was a huge play by Patton on that sweep.
Oh,
huge.
You know, he's run about 3 of them, but really successful.
It's a nice little wrinkle, bounce up to the outside to go along with that power running game of Gillislee and Mac Brown.
Aggies will stop the clock as quickly as they can. Oh, a beautiful fake. Driskel, 40, 33. What a call by Brent Peace, Herbie.
That's exactly. We just said Brent Peace. This is the Boise State. You want to talk about Boise State? He gets out around more. This is Boise State. It's not razzle-dazzle. It's aggressive play calling. Look at this call. Everybody's anticipating a run, kill the clock. Instead, he runs to boot and allows his quarterback to get around the corner, and that's what they talked about, why he's the starting quarterback, what he can do with his feet. That time, not just going around the corner, but accelerating downfield to secure this victory with the 1st down.
21 yards on that run by Driskel. Some of the crowd finally up and moving toward the exits. Inside of a minute. And Mac Brown.
Number 33, Mac Brown.
Aggies will stop it. Running out of time here.
7-yard gain on play, 2nd down.
2nd down and 4. Taking a knee.
Number 6, Jeff Driskel takes a knee.
And the Aggies running out of time and timeouts here. The key to the game, I think, belongs to the Florida coaching staff. And I know they've been under fire a little bit. Will Muschamp's record, I think, was only 8-6 coming in. That's not good enough for what Urban Meyer left behind him with a couple of national championships in the last 6 years. But the youngsters, they were getting beat up a little bit, and they regrouped. There was some cramping going on, but they stood tall.
Early, you had guys arguing with each other a little bit. You had, boy, they're on the ropes. Johnny Manziel won over the community here with the way he played. It looked like, my gosh, we were talking, eating a sandwich there at halftime thinking, this freshman quarterback is amazing. But the adjustments by Will Muschamp and Dan Quinn, the way they got their team to settle down, made the adjustments that they had to maintain, keeping him in the pocket, forcing him to throw from the pocket, getting an extra man down in the box to stop the running game.
Stealing a page from Nick Saban against Michigan last Saturday night when they kept Bernard Robinson bottled up. They did the same thing here to Manziel, and he just couldn't beat him with his arm.
Yeah, and for all the criticism that Will Muschamp takes, talk show hosts and all the people that like to get after him, give him some credit, because the Gators deserve that for coming on the road in his first SEC game for A&M and getting a big win when they were down 17-7. That was an impressive job by the Gators and Will.
Yeah, but if you can't beat Tennessee, you can go back to criticizing.
That's the deal, right?
Kevin Sumlin got a bright future here at Texas A&M, I believe, despite the fact they couldn't hold on today. I liked a lot of things I saw. A lot of freshmen. He played. I think they're going to be okay, Herbie. They need some depth in the defensive line. Coach Snyder told you that.
Yeah. And you mentioned also the schedule coming up. They need more depth.
Let's go down to Heather.
Coach, congratulations on the win. A different team, a different defense in the second half. What adjustments did you guys make to turn things around?
Not a whole lot. Dan Quinn did a great job. Our defensive staff just calmed down a little bit. Didn't get up the field as much. Johnny Manziel is going to be a heck of a football player. I'm glad they're not on the schedule next year, but his legs were the different in the first half. Third down conversions. Our kids did a great job fighting back.
Speaking of quarterbacks, what did you learn about your quarterback in this game?
Not one thing. I knew it going in.
Coach, how important was a win like this, a hard-fought win like this for your team?
These are statement games. You come out here in this environment, and to be able to disappoint these people is a lot of fun.
Coach, enjoy it. Thank you.
So, Herbie, here's my question. Can Florida compete with Alabama, LSU, and the powers in the SEC?
Not yet. Not yet. I still think it's a work in progress. Anytime you're playing a young quarterback, he took some steps today, but he's going to have to continue to grow up, learn how to kind of get off that primary and find these other receivers. But I think it's a big step in the right direction for the Gators as they get ready for some tough games.
Herbie, I'll see you and Heather up in East Lansing, Michigan next week.
Yes, sir.
This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long from College Station, and thanks for watching. Here's College Football Scoreboard.